Floyd Mayweather, by the way, I think he makes the most on a per annum basis than any other athlete. On a fight like this, he'll make at least $40 million, maybe more. Had said the other day that he thought he was the best fighter of all time, better than Muhammad Ali. Was critical of Muhammad Ali when he did the rope-a-dope. Guys, both of you saw Muhammad Ali in his prime. Can you understand what a guy like Floyd Mayweather would say because he's never lost a fight, or is it outrageous? Either one of you take.
Who did he say was the best fighter of all time? Himself?
Himself, yeah. He's never lost a fight. He's the.
Neither did Rocky Marciano.
I don't know if he's ever heard of Rocky Marciano, but he was referencing.
Oh, that's my point. You can't you can't judge. That's when you say the greatest fighter of all time, the greatest fighter in his era. You can't judge. It's like somebody saying the greatest hockey player. How the hell do you judge?
No, you can't. If they didn't play against one another for a good sampling, you can't very much. Or if they didn't box one another. Like if I was to pick the best boxer that I ever watched in my era, it is float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. There was no better athlete than Muhammad Ali. I didn't mean that to rhyme, but it was.
But it did.
It was a very good rhyme, Bill. You should.
No, I mean,
I didn't write it. Perry, would you get a copy of that for me, please?
Yes, I think. I don't think Muhammad Ali could ever be topped for his lyrical or his sayings, but you were right up there with that one. Okay, Bill? Yeah, it will be preserved in eternity for that on nextsportstar.com. But
yeah,
even though again, they can't be compared. This is, I don't know how much you guys know about Floyd Mayweather, but he is very, very full of himself. He's done a lot of different things, but he's backed it up with what he's done. So,
how old is he now, Perry?
Guys, you'd have to figure that. I'm going to say I'm going to go with 34. I don't know exactly.
All right. I thought he was a little older. That's how little I know about it.
38. Okay, thanks, guys. But to me, this is like the fight of a lifetime. It's been this long in the making, and when a guy like Floyd Mayweather comes out and says he's the best of all time, it's because the opportunity is there for him to say it. And whether or not anybody who follows boxing, we're all of a generation that we remember all these great fighters. I dare say a lot of these people following boxing that are going to be watching the fight probably have no idea who Rocky Marciano is. The closest they'd remember would be Muhammad Ali, but going way back when. He is a product of this time right now, that he could say what he wants because more people.
Joe Louis was a great fighter.
Yeah, there's been a lot of them, but this fight is a time right now where more people will probably watch this fight than any fight that's ever happened before. It's not necessarily because they're the two best fighters of all time, but it's a product right now of all the promotion, all the hype. You guys mentioned
it's a product of our times. It's a product of the multimedia setup that we have, and whoever is behind this has maximized every aspect of promotion that you could do.
It's like the Super Bowl. They're making it like a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They're two rival organizations or promotions that basically were fighting with one another, no pun intended, to prevent this fight from happening. And finally, they've all come together. And it's kind of the realization that it was either going to happen at some point now or forget it. It was just going to be too long. Manny Pacquiao has lost a lot of fights. He's not undefeated. Floyd Mayweather is. Floyd Mayweather usually goes a full 15 rounds. But it's the fight that people have been waiting for. And Bill, you mentioned about it's a product of our time and multimedia. Everything is happening right now. But it's boxing finally is going to come back to a point where it has some relevance, and whether this is a one-off, whether there will be a rematch. I guess we'll find out how the fight goes. But it's interesting nonetheless. We were talking almost for 2 hours about hockey. We didn't talk about the Kentucky Derbies on Saturday. There's a lot of things happening right now in sports. But boxing right now, for at least one day and 1 week, will claim the spotlight. And it's to me, it's kind of fascinating because it goes back to yesteryear when boxing really mattered.